With number 160 from Performance Edge 2, Allie dancing to Wild is the Wind receives a high gold. 161 from Stars Dance Studio, Amanda dancing to Only the Winds receives a high gold. 162 from Dance Unlimited, Gabriella dancing to Breathless receives a gold. 163 from Focal Point, Victoria dancing to For You receives a gold. 164 from Studio 61, Natalie dancing to Roxanne receives a gold. 165 from Dance Empire, Jemai dancing to A Fungus Among Us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first DJ's pick of many this evening. Here we go. Moving on, number 166 from Lens Dance Company, Catherine dancing to Fame receives a high silver. 167 from Impact Youth Ensemble, Jonathan dancing to Love Comes Back receives a gold. 168 from Performance Edge 2, Ben dancing to Break Free receives a gold. 169 from Unlimited Dance Academy, Ivana dancing to Bittersweet receives a gold. 170 from Stars Dance Studio, Janaya dancing to Becoming receives a high gold. 171 from Miami Dance Company, Alejandra dancing to Fantasy receives a high gold. 173 from On Your Toes, Sarah dancing to Let Jazz Hot receives a high silver. 174 from Dance Unlimited, Vanessa dancing to Don't You Know receives a high gold. 175 from Focal Point, Brittany dancing to Guided receives a high gold. 176 from Performance Edge 2, Carly dancing to I Will Love You receives a high gold. 177 from Dance Town, Benjamin dancing to No Harm receives a DJ's pick. 178 from Dancing in Excess, Samantha dancing to Take My Hand receives a high silver. 179 from Stars Dance Studio, Jasmine dancing to Broken receives a high gold. 180 from Stars Dance Studio, Zaria dancing to Fawn receives a gold. 182 from Dance Etc., Camilla dancing to Stole the Show receives a high silver. 183 from Lens Dance Company, Brooke About Angels receives a gold. 184 from Performance Edge 2, Charlize dancing to What I Did for Love receives a gold. 185 from Impact Youth Ensemble, Stella dancing to Pete Moore receives a high gold. 186 from Dance Town, Juan Carlos dancing to Conrad receives a high gold. 187 from Focal Point, Natalie dancing to Holding On receives a gold. 188 from Stars Dance Studio, Gemma dancing to Explosions in the Sky receives a high gold. 189 from Dance Town, Emily dancing to Afraid to Forget receives a DJ's pick. 190 from Danceology, Michaela dancing to Sinking receives a high gold. 191 from Florida School of Dance Education, Alexa dancing to Naked Truth receives a gold. 192 from Performance Edge 2, Chloe dancing to Halcyon receives a gold. 193 from Dance Town, Boca, Victoria dancing to Sweat receives a high gold. 194 from Stars Dance Studio, Vivian dancing for receives a DJ's pick. 195 from Marshall Ellis Dance School, Sydney dancing to Inevitable Distance receives a DJ's pick. 196 from Dancetown, Boca, Sophia dancing to Make You Feel My Love receives a gold. 198 from Dance Unlimited, Leah dancing to Hear Me Now receives a high gold. 199 from Focal Point, Megan dancing to Luminous receives a gold. 200 from Performance Edge 2, Hannah dancing to Sound and Color receives a DJ's pick. 201 from Impact Youth Ensemble, Daryl dancing to Carry the Deed receives a DJ's pick. 202 from Lens Dance Company, Megan dancing to Raise the Dead receives a high gold. 204 from Unlimited Dance Academy, Nicole dancing to Lost It to Trying receives a gold. 204A from Dancetown Cassette dancing to No Light receives a gold. 205 from Miami Dance Company, Selena dancing to Guilty Feet receives a high gold. 206 from Stars Dance Studio, Maggie dancing to In This Shirt receives a gold. 207 from Studio 61, Madison dancing to Huntress receives a gold. 208 from Performance Edge 2, Jaden dancing to Bang Bang receives a high gold. 209 from Club Dance Studio, Kalani dancing receives a DJ's pick. 210 from Dance Unlimited, Samantha dancing to Infatuation receives a high gold. 211 from Focal Point, Allison dancing to Paths Taken receives a high gold. 212 from On Your Toes, Andrea dancing to The Whisper receives a high silver. 213 from Dancetown, D'Angelo dancing to Grant Us Peace receives a DJ's pick. 214 from Marshall Ellis Dance School, Megan dancing to Rise Up receives a gold. 215 from Stars Dance Studio, Rosie dancing to Cold receives a DJ's pick. 216 from Performance Edge 2, Jolie dancing to Blind Winter receives a gold. 217 from Adrenaline Dance Company, Giovanni dancing to Without You also receives a gold. 218 from Lentz Dance Company, Nicole dancing to Unsteady receives a high silver. 219 from Impact Youth Ensemble, Sophia dancing to On Oath receives a DJ's pick. 220 from Dance Unlimited, Rebecca dancing to Pendulum receives a high gold. 221 from Focal Point Dance, Alexa dancing to Treading Water receives a high gold. 222 from Performance Edge 2, Julia dancing to Twilight receives a gold. 223 from Stars Dance Studio, Taya dancing to Consequences receives a high gold. 224 from Dancetown, Jordan dancing to Too Small receives a high gold. 225 from Stars Dance Studio, Ashley dancing to All Right receives a high gold. 226 from Miami Dance Company, Helen dancing in Improv receives a gold. 227 from Unlimited Dance Academy, For My Help receives a high silver. 228 from Focal Point, Alone receives a high gold. 229 from Dance Unlimited, The Creation receives a high gold. 231 from Adrenaline Dance Company, With You receives a high gold. 231A from Dancetown, Love's Run Out receives a DJ's pick. 232 from Unlimited Dance Academy, Escapade receives a high gold. 233 from Stars Dance Studio, Transitions receives a DJ's pick. 235 from Stars Dance Studio, When She Came Back receives a DJ's pick. 236 from Dance Unlimited, Lauren dancing to Alternate World receives a high gold. 237 from Stars Dance Studio, Jaron dancing to Gold receives a high gold. 238 from Dancetown, Natalie dancing to Hustling receives a high gold. 239 from Focal Point, Nashali dancing to Eyes on Me receives a high gold. 240 from Lentz Dance Company, Haley dancing to Blind As I Am receives a high gold. 241 from Unlimited Dance Academy, Marcella dancing to Get Up, Get Down receives a gold. 242 from Dance Unlimited, Alondra dancing to Toxic receives a gold. 244 from In Motion Dance Project, Lauren dancing a Marathon receives a high gold. Number 245 from Stars Dance Studio, Dylan dancing to Summer receives a high gold. 246 from Dancetown, Marissa dancing to Hope There's Someone Now receives a high gold. 247 from Studio Fusion, Karina dancing Lost receives a DJ's pick. 248 from Dance Unlimited, Daniela dancing to For the Kill receives a high silver. 249 from Focal Point, Danielle dancing to Guitar receives a high gold. 250 from Dancing in Excess, Samantha dancing to Skyscraper receives a gold. 250A from Dancetown, Chase dancing to As Long As You Love Me receives a high gold. 251 from Impact Youth Ensemble, Gabriella dancing to Calling Home receives a high gold. 252 from Lentz Dance Company, Sydney dancing to Breathe receives a high gold.